Hi guys, I'm Soumya and I am back with another video. So this is 2020 and I have decided to take the hashtag 20 for 2020 challenge, which is basically that I have decided that I'll be listening to 20 audiobooks in 2020. But in today's video, I am going to tell you my top 10 audiobooks out of those 20 audiobooks that I plan to listen. So you can say that it's kind of an elaborate TBR for my entire 2020 in terms of audiobooks, and all these audiobooks are available on the Storytel audiobook app. Let me know in the comment section, since the year has just begun, which are the books that you are most looking forward to reading in 2020. These can be the books that you want to read by a certain author or certain popular titles. If you are a book lover, please do hit that subscribe button and bell icon, because I make a lot of bookish content on this channel. And if you like this video, do not forget to give this a like and also share it and comment. On the top of my list is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Now, this is a book that is supposed to have a tall order to live up to, but I've decided that I will listen to it with zero expectations, because I do not want to burden myself with expecting a lot out of this book only to be disappointed. But it is very, very popular. So it's a story about a young woman who is kind of torn between two men. One man loves her, but he's also a womanizer, and the other one is very faithful to her. And also, this story takes place in different geographical locations. The next one is The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. So this is the second book in the science fiction series that I began in 2019. I had loved the first book, which was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it was interesting and hilarious. So that is why I am really looking forward to listen to this one as well. I'm very happy to say that I began this series by listening to it on audiobook, and I'm very happy to continue the tradition with the second book as well. And I have very, very high hopes from this book, and I'm not holding myself from expecting a lot, because the first book gave me so much laughter, and I'm looking forward to have a good laugh again in this one as well. The next one is The Unlikely Adventures of the Shergill Sisters by Bali Kaur Jaswal. So I had read a book by Bali Kaur Jaswal not very long ago. It was Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows, and I had ended up loving that book. So it's the classic case of reading a book by an author, liking it, and then trying another book by the same author. So this is a story about three sisters, and they are not really close to each other, but they're kind of forced to come together and spend time together when their mother dies. And her last wish before dying turns out to be that she wants her daughter to basically go on a pilgrimage, performing her last rites across India. The next book that I'm really pumped up to listen to is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Now, this is a story about a Chinese American family, and the story is taking place in 1970s. So Lydia is very dear to her parents, and her parents have a lot of expectations and hopes pinned on her. They believe that she will fulfill their dreams that they were not able to fulfill for themselves. But everything shatters when her dead body is discovered, and the balance in their family comes tumbling down. The next one is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is a story in which a Hollywood icon named Evelyn Hugo decides to spill the tea or reveal the secrets about her life, which is full of a lot of glamour and scandals, or which had been full of a lot of glamour and scandals, because now she's a reclusive actress, and in order to tell about her life to everybody, she chooses a relatively unknown reporter, and the reporter is shocked herself as to why did Evelyn choose her to tell her story. So as these two women interact, they kind of form a certain connection with each other. The next one is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. So this is a story about how two college students, Francis and Bobby, form a connection with a married couple, and it's a story about their youth and their lives. So the only reason for me to select this one is because I had loved Normal People by Sally Rooney. That was a very complex story, and by the looks of it, this one seems like a complex story too. For me, complex stories have their own charm. Next one is Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri. Now, having read The Lowland by her, I'm no stranger to her writing and the magic that it creates. So Interpreter of Maladies is actually a collection of short stories about the Indian immigrant experience in the United States. In all her stories, she has talked about the Indian immigrant people and how they try to balance their life between the world that they left behind and the new world that they inhabit. The next one is Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So this story is taking place in Nigeria in the decade of 1960s, before and during the Nigerian Civil War. This story has 5 main characters whose lives are affected and torn apart by the Nigerian Civil War, and I am hoping to learn a lot about Nigeria through this book, even though it is fiction, because basically this book is a recreation of that time in the history of Nigeria by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The next book is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Now, the reason that I have included this book in my list is because a lot of my subscribers have recommended that I should pick up a book by Jojo Moyes, so I decided to go for this one. I've heard that this is a romance book and it is also an emotional roller coaster. I don't read a lot of romance books, but I think this is a year to kind of restart my love for romance books that kind of is lying latent right now. So this is the story of a girl named Louisa Clark who lives a steady life, but she's largely unambitious. But one day she loses her job and she gets a unique employment opportunity, which is basically to take care of a guy named Will Traynor who has developed quadriplegia because of an accident. I know there is a movie based on this book, but I will listen to this audiobook first. The next book is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. So this story begins at the end of World War II when a man named Cyril, by his clever investment and a stroke of luck, ends up going from rags to riches, and as a result he buys this huge mansion-like house called Dutch House in Philadelphia. But this house becomes the reason for tearing his family apart. So this story goes back and forth in time. This is a story about a dysfunctional family, so it is going to have a fair share of darkness in it. So these are the 10 books that are a part of my hashtag 2020 audiobooks challenge that I am going to take this year, and I am really excited to listen to these audiobooks. If you want to discover more books on Storytel, I have left a link in the description box that is going to give you an idea about the books that are going to come soon on Storytel apart from the ones that are already there. Let me know in the comments about the books that you are interested in reading in 2020, and if you like this video, do not forget to like this, and if you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.